welcome to the Mulligan Menace. We are going to be playing some Boros Counters today. Pretty neat deck where you're just basically building a lot of aggressive, wide stance, and then you're just going to be loading your creatures with different counters throughout the whole process. For the 1-drops, we have Descent into the Storms. It's a 2-1 for 1, which is pretty good to start with, but it has the ability to endure, and that gives you the capability of either putting a +1/+1 counter on there by paying 2, or when it attacks, that is, or get a 1/1 creature. So do you want to go wide or do you want to go big is the question, and you can do either with that one. You do have a Zack Fair as well. That's the 0/1, comes in with a 1/1 counter on it. You can sack it and the creature gets indestructible. This is really nice to protect some of your more important creatures, especially ones that you get like Shelter with the Ghost on there or something like that. Or Sheltered by Ghost, I should say. You do have Higher Claw. This is just a tried and true 1/2 for 1. You can pump it by putting mana into it when it attacks, and then it also does 1 damage when it attacks, so that's always nice. On turn 2 mana, you got your Weaver. This is an enchantment, but it gives you a 2/1 creature, which is pretty good to start with, and then you get all your creatures, or I should say a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Becomes legendary. That doesn't matter as much. And third, target creature you control gains double strike until the end of turn. Just remember, this is only one creature. I think I screwed up one game thinking it was going to be multiple creatures, but it gets +1/+1 to only one target creature, but still pretty good for only 2 mana. You have your Squire. Every creature you drop, this gets a +1/+1 counter on this, so you can imagine with all of these 1-drops you got, how many counters this can get and grow pretty dang fast. So what's nice is it gets flying as well if you have 3 or more counters on it, so it has a little bit of evasion. We do have Ash, the Party Crasher. We only have a 2 of because this is legendary. It has haste, and whenever Ash attacks, if 2 or more non-land permanents enter the battlefield under your control this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Ash. Happens quite a bit, so this is going to grow as well. We do have the Thousandth Moon as well. That's a 1/2 legendary creature. Whenever you attack with 1 or more non-gnome creatures, put a 1/1 counter on this creature, and you create X 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature tokens that are tapped and attacking, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on this creature. And then this is a great buddy to that previous card, because whenever you attack, you get a +1/+1 counter on target creature. And whenever a modified creature you control deals combat damage to a player, exile a top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Good thing to remember with this is that last ability. So you're going to be putting those +1/+1 counters on creatures, and you have to plan ahead if you're going to actually be doing damage to the opponent, because you want to keep some mana available to do so. So you might not want to pump mana into something like Descent into the Storm to endure it if you're putting the counter on it and able to actually do that damage. That way, when you get that card, you have that capability of playing it. For your normal spells in this deck, we have a Requisition Raid. Really handy. Destroys target artifact, destroys target enchantment, and it also has the last one. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. That is a huge ability on that for only 2 mana. Especially if you're wide, I mean, you could be doing this to 4 or 5 creatures. You also have Shelter by Ghost, tried and true. Get rid of all your threats that are out there. It also gives you a little gives you ward ability, so you're a little bit of evasion from creature destruction, but also lifelink on your creature, which is really nice if you can put it on something that has like flying. We also have Spectacular Tactics. Cheap spell, get rid of big creatures that are out there. Your creatures can grow pretty quickly to handle smaller creatures, but you want to get rid of those big beasts out there. That destroys it, but it also gives you the ability to give your creature hexproof. So if they try to target a creature, you can cast this. Not only does it get a 1/1 counter, but it also gets hexproof till the end of turn. All in all, you got your normals for your Boros lands that are in here. Also got the Passage as well, just a great handy multi-use land that's out there. This is the Boros Counters deck. Please hit that subscribe button below, trying to get up to 500 subscribers here. I really appreciate you doing so. And let's get into the gameplay. All right, Boros tokens. We did save or take our hand. We got 2 land, the Raid, Most Helpful Weaver, Sheltered by Ghost, Ash, and Gloria. So this is a pretty good starting hand. We are on the draw, though. Ooh, they're going to be starting fast here. Do this. My guess is they're going to hold open the mana and attack. Yep. No block. Let's do this. We're gonna pay 2 life. We're gonna get this out and hope they don't kill it, because then we can follow it up with Helpful Weaver. If we can start growing this, we can throw the shelter on it, and then they'll get it out of their range. Really, it needs to have 5 defense. Okay, they destroy it right away. We unfortunately ran out of land here. Let's get that down. Offer the trade if they want it. Okay, we're going to trade. Right there. That's unfortunate. This is about the only thing we can do and hope. Okay, they can grow that. I mean, they can grow them both, but that one probably has the most potential for causing an issue. See if they have removal for it. If they don't, we're going to be in pretty good shape. Ooh, that's going to do a lot of damage. It does have double strike, which is nice. I think we're going to just do this to get a counter on it. Back out, put the counter on it. Can't endure it, unfortunately. But we're going to gain quite a bit of life here. And it's just dead because it didn't block. Good game! Alright, unfortunately, opponent goes first on this one. We do have 3 land. We do have 1, 2, 3 drop. Playing against an enchantment deck, it looks like. That's unfortunate. But that does allow us to do this followed up by a Zack Fair and Hired Claw if we want to do that. We have ways of getting rid of that, fortunately. let's just do this. We're gonna destroy their creature because that gives them too much benefit there. We can actually follow this up with the Hired Claw. No attacks. Bring Innocence. One of these out. One of these out. Oh, this is interesting. I can start giving this counters if I wanted to. I'm okay with them trading. Oh. Got here. Everything going graveyards, okay. First strike, lifelink. That's a killer. We can't attack into that, unfortunately. Drop that. Enters tapped. There's nothing we can do with that creature out there. We need a shelter. He's finding all the shelters. Gonna get our Gloria, probably. Yep. Well, let's do... We can do a little shenanigans here. We can do a block and sack, so he doesn't actually end up doing any damage. We're going to give this to a Hired Claw. We did quite a bit of damage. I don't even think they can attack here unless they get rid of our Zack Fair. Okay. Yep, they're held back. Look at that. Okay, as long as they don't have like an annul here. Let's put this on... something with a bigger butt. Yes, I'm sure. Submit one. Good game. Worked out in the end. All right, we go first on this one. We do have 3 land, which is really nice. We have removal. Turn 1, turn 3. Hopefully we draw into a turn 2 threat. Give us both lands. Let's do that. Can endure next turn if that's what we want to do. It looks like we're gonna have to. Well, we can shelter, I suppose. I'd rather do that for a threat. I'm not that worried about the councils. Put a counter on it. Start growing it. I don't want to get it out of range. Okay, it looks like we are playing against the synth deck. Get a 3 casting cost creature down. Still provides us some ability here. Okay, it's going to steal our storms, unfortunately. I don't really want to take that because I don't want to give him another land. What I will do, cast Ajani. Give that creature +1. We'll attack in for 5 because it gets 1 more. Counters just build real quick with this deck. We do have 2 shelters too. We can play this. It's going to enter tapped because we can't use it anyways. And then we have a pretty solid next turn. We can either double shelter. We can tactics shelter. They have no creatures. Oh, he's going to snare. That's unfortunate. Alright. Well, that's going to change things a little bit here. I think I'm going to shelter for that snare. I don't want... We're going to do that just so that we can give it hexproof if needed. In case he has another snare. Creature back. We'll give a creature +1/+1. Let's do that to this one because they're going to want to go after that with Pinnacle can hit that as well. So, and then let's go end turn. We do have the hexproof if we need it. 2 gnomes, okay. It does give him blockers. Well, it has haste, so let's do this. Guess haste doesn't matter when it comes in tapped, huh? We can give that flying and double. We can give that flying and double. Let's just do this. Pump that up.
Your soul burns with might.
Gonna give this just so even if they double block, it doesn't kill it. Oop, oop, oop. Shoot, did not mean to do that. Couldn't undo it, unfortunately. I'm actually okay if they cage here. Maybe not, because they get their snare back. Alright, good game. Alright, let's look at this. We go first. We do have 2 land, which is really nice. So we do have a turn 1, turn 2 play. I'll probably do the Hired Claw, then the Ash. Actually, I'm a little tempted. Maybe I'll do that first. Yeah, I can't do Hired Claw first. I don't even have the land for it, so that actually works out okay. Let's do this. Ascendant. We can do Plains followed by Ash next turn, as long as they don't have anything going on. They have a turn 1 play. Removal. Oh, Cecil. That does kind of stop me in my tracks, unfortunately. Does make me want to switch up what I'm doing here. The Higher Claw down will also drop. I could have endured, but I'm going to avoid doing that here. Maybe take Ajani or the Gloria. I don't see them really taking the Ash. Even though I only have 2, so maybe they're going to try to avoid that. Okay. They saw I didn't have any more lands. So they took that. Actually, pretty nice drop. You can just do a single attack here. We can trade. Does open the board for us here. We'll have a convene, but since we're already giving it the 3, we're just going to create the spirit token. We'd love the card to give everything counters. Okay, next. Taking a little damage there. Ooh. So, I can shelter, gain quite a bit of life. I might just shelter on a Hired Claw, actually, because then I can... man. I just don't want the Gloria going away. But they do have the... They probably don't have hero mercenary. That prevents some of the removal potentially if I do it that way. I probably want to get rid of the slasher, to be honest with you. It's kind of a tough one to do. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to put it on the Hired Claw. We're going to take that. We don't want him to have the draw. We're going to do an all-out attack. We're going to grow this so we can gain some life. Their creature's still going to be tapped for one more turn, so I'm not too worried about that. Ooh, that's nice. And just hope they can't remove our Hired Claw here. We do have the Ajani as well to give flying and double strike. You have to leave the bat back. All right. Good game. All right, let's look at this. We got 3 land. We don't have a turn 1, but we got a turn 2 and turn 3 play. Let's keep it. We can drop a tap land to start. We're also on the draw, so we might draw into something. We do not draw into something, but we can get our tap land. We will follow it up with a Squire. Unfortunately, didn't get that earlier, so the Squire here. We are playing Dimir. We got removal. I think they got removal. They just don't want to put it on that. Either that or they might do so this turn once we start popping it off. Let's do this. We got another Gloria. Otherwise, I would have probably cast both of these. Okay, I just counter. We can double spell next turn, which is nice. See what they do here. Well, I think we might actually triple spell here. They're sitting on either a removal or a counter here. Okay, counter it. That might change what we do here. Let's do this instead of triple spell. It'll get us the same amount of damage. Plus next turn now we can actually double spell again with the Ajani. Okay. Let's hope they don't get a land, because that leaves them a little bit open unless they have an annul. They got the land. Let's see if they counter. They might be questioning to counter because they got removal.
By your side until the end.
All right, well, this is interesting. We're going to do this. Kind of split up what we got going on here. I will put the counter on this one. Okay, we're in pretty good shape for next turn. Draw land. Come on. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, that didn't work out too good for us. Not a bad follow-up, though.
Let me show you how to fight.
We did rebuild our board pretty quick here. They got another sweeper. They only have one plains, which makes it so you can only do deadly cover-up or a rupture. Ooh. He's got to find like a bounce, maybe? Otherwise a removal of some sort? I mean, he's not going to find a sweeper. We will do this. Give our creatures +1/+1. We're going to give our creatures... Ooh. That's 6 now. It needs to -8. He does have removal. He's going to have to target something. I can endure with that one. Let's just do that one. That way he targets that. I'll still get my Gloria to grow. He's going to do removal here. Yeah. Didn't really matter what I targeted here. He would have killed the other one. So I'd rather have this one because it grows naturally without having to do anything. Now I'll also get able to draw a card, which is nice. Under tapped. And turn. We now have hexproof. Does he have a sweeper, though? Sure you want me to mill those 2 cards? Alright. That pretty much does them in. My turn. Good game. All right, that was the Boros Counters deck. Really fun. Really neat to see the 1-drops that you can get here. Descent of the Storms is a pretty strong card, especially because it's a 2/1. Even if they drop a 2/3 there, you can get in without worrying too much because you can endure it and make it all suddenly a 3/2. So it really comes in handy if you're trying to trade with one of the Death Touch Knights or something like that. Kind of gives you gives you kind of a handy way to do so with that. Gloria is fantastic in a deck like this. A lot of cheap casting cost stuff, so you can drop a lot of 1-drop stuff. You could actually have quite a bit of different creatures on there until you drop one of your 3-drops. Ajani, I didn't get to play with it as much as I wanted to. I know the one game I was able to start pumping stuff. That second ability is crazy dangerous if you already have a creature with multiple +1/+1 counters. That giving flying and double strike is scary, especially with something with like Gloria. I mean, just a base, if you do this turn 3 and follow it up with this on turn 4, you're just automatically giving Gloria. It's going to be a 4/4 flying double strike if you add that ability to it. So that's 8 damage almost out of nowhere, which is really kind of handy for that. Fun deck, all in all. Enjoyed playing it. But like I said below, please hit that subscribe button. Trying to get to 500. Really appreciate if you guys do that. And have a fantastic day.